Oh, screw you guys.
Think you'll like it a lot.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
3, 2. Welcome to a whole nother episode of TalkHvy. Once again, I'm your boy Scoop Burgundy.
Just call me Ro.
It's Scotty.
It's V.
And as y'all know, Dad is back. So welcome. We're going to start off with the latest, and I would say greatest, but this topic is something that we talked about before, and I wish we didn't have to talk about. But there was another mass shooting in the United States of America, in Colorado, in a supermarket, where a guy walks in and he shot and killed 10 people. One cop included. So, what were you guys' initial thoughts on what happened?
I don't know how to really analyze all the mass shootings. I know one thing, that it definitely is a indicator of something when all the mass shootings are white people, and white people who have associations with some type of white supremacy group, or some type of association, or some type of tweets come out that these people was doing, and they find out, oh, these people were blatant racist, is full-blown proof to me that white people, especially radicalized white people who are fully into the concepts of white supremacy, feel threatened by the current status of what's going on in America, and they are frail and they go out and kill people. It could be that. It could also be, people with mental health issues. I've never really subscribed to that concept, because I know plenty of people with mental health issues who don't go killing motherfuckers. So, I truthfully think this has a lot to do with the way people are, and for lack of a better word, socialized, and how they realize that reality isn't truly what they thought reality was. And that break causes them to go crazy. But what you think?
I definitely was shocked to hear that a cop got shot, especially because of who was the shooter. But not to say like, oh my God, he shot a cop, but it's just like that just caught me off guard a little bit. But regardless, I guess I agree with what you said, Scott, and pretty much everything you said. Just to add on to that, like it's just crazy to me how it's like just last week we were talking about 8 people being shot and killed in Atlanta, and now we're talking about 10 more people, being shot and killed in Colorado. And I've been in Colorado. It's cold as shit. So like they really meant that. Like it's really cold in Colorado, but that's not to explain that. Regardless, it's just really sad. It's very, rest in peace to all of the lives that were lost. Like, not to make this a laughing matter. I just, I don't really know what to say outside of, everybody be careful, especially as like the world is starting to open up more. These mass shootings, I'm not surprised that they're white, because typically when I hear about a mass shooting, it's a white person. But just, if you got brown skin, be careful.
Wow. So do you guys think that? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I did want to say though, RIP to everybody who lost their life.
Yes.
I know a lot of people don't like the police, and they take out their frustrations of police and police brutality, and they rejoice people rejoice when they see police being killed. I think at the end of the day, they are human beings, and they do have families. This police officer has 7 children, I believe, or 8, 7 or 8 children. Yeah. And he was married, and like these people are still human beings at the end of the day. So they deserve some form of respect and death too.
You know what? I got a question, y'all. How come all these mass shooters always get taken alive? I wonder that sometimes.
Taking what?
alive.
That's not a common thing. They usually kill themselves.
Yeah, themselves. You know what I mean? It's like the cops always manage to apprehend these mass murderers.
Well, it's because of their skin. When the police see them, they see a mental health. When they see someone with brown skin, they see a threat.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to tell me that if any of us were that mass shooter, any of us would have a court date.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just making sure I wasn't tripping.
We was talking about it the other day, actually, how the media portrayals plays a huge role in the way people perceive different types of threats. Mm-hmm. Like the media will never, even though it is a form of terrorism, the media will never label mass shooting as a form of terrorism. That's why we're saying mass shooting rather than domestic terrorism. Whatever his motivation was to be out here killing motherfuckers, how is that not terrorism? He's terrorizing the public. Literally.
True. It's true.
They only refer to it when dude killed all the went to the gay club and killed all the people in the gay club. What they call that? Terrorism. When they blew up the damn
World Trade Center,
but the World Trade Center, terrorism.
Go keep going, brother. Preach.
Forms of terrorism, right? But when it's white folks and it's white people doing it, it's active shooters. It's a mass shooting. When the dude went to the little kids and killed little kids, they called that a fucking that's terrorism, yo. And under every definition, that's terrorism. But they will never call it that.
Tell them why you're mad, Scott.
I'm not mad. It's just an expectation, you know. Like I expect the media to be that way and to portray their white people and give their white people that grace that they wouldn't give other people. For instance,
it's sad that
go ahead.
I was gonna say it's sad that because not to like discredit what Scoop just said, tell them why you're mad. We absolutely should be mad, but like when I think about it, I'm not mad because I'm not surprised. Right. And it's like I've been mad before. I've marched before. And it's like now it's kind of like I'm almost feel immune to it, as sad as that sounds. But we should absolutely be mad. But we just like, how long can you be mad before it's kind of like, well, I mean, it just is what it is at this point. And that's kind of what you were just saying, Scott. It's like the expectation. Like we expect that. Like a prime example, even when they talk about historical events of terrorism in this country, it's like when they talk about Black Wall Street, they never even taught us about that. That's a terroristic act. And then even what just happened at the White House, like literally just happened. All of us saw it. It was all over TV. It was all over social media. And people still struggle to call that a domestic terrorist act. That is as terrorist as it gets.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like they were at the Capitol. Like,
absolutely.
So
right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like I just wanted to point that out because it was like when Scoop said, like, you know, tell them why you're mad. And I fully agreed with you, Scott. And I'm like, but I should be mad, but I'm not because I just have that expectation now.
Yeah.
Okay. So if Keith don't have nothing to say, because I want to tie it in.
Oh wait, I did have something to say.
Shut up! Nobody want to hear you.
You know I had to do. I got it. First of all, if anyone know, I got to do back end stuff first before I can speak.
Shut up.
But I really ain't really had much to say. I just think it was sad that Mr. Sir decided that he wanted to go out and shoot people for no reason. He wanted to be that guy.
Mr. Dipshit.
Yeah, we heard the interview of the lady talking when she had her son and how scary that was for her. It is like B said, they don't want to call it, and Scott said they don't want to call him a terrorist, but that's a terrorist. You know, just because his skin is unseasoned, don't make him less of a terrorist.
Right.
Go ahead, Scoop.
Right. Now, we're going to flip it. It's controversial to flip it, but we're going to flip it because that's what we do. We talk heavy. Now, we're going to talk about some seasoned people, right? And we're going to talk about the murder rate. Philadelphia, for instance. Over 100 people were already killed this year. Homicide rate up 55% already in 2021. After you're talking about a year in 2020 where 499 people. So let's just round it off. 500 people were killed. That murder rate is up 55%. Not 5%, 55. You heard it right. In Philadelphia. So what are your thoughts on that?
That's indicative of poverty.
Okay.
Philadelphia is the most impoverished big city in the country. As a result, poverty and crime go hand in hand. Lack of education, lack of resources, lack of food. The food deserts in Philly is sick. The food deserts in Philly is sick. The lack of nutrition, the lack of drugs. The list goes on and on and on and on and on about why these things occur. But truthfully, as an individual, and I think this is what I wanted to say for real, is that as an individual, what we can do is not participate in these activities, stop committing crimes, don't be in these streets. Me saying this don't mean I know me saying this don't mean a damn thing to these.
You don't know that.
Some of these dudes.
I'm about to say every one person counts. You don't know. Every one person counts, brother.
I hope it does. But please, it's not worth it. It really is not. It's never worth it. Jail, life in jail, your life, your mama's life, like it's not worth it. You going to jail or dying affects so many people. Your family, your friends. Like you're not just talking about yourself. That's selfish. Right. Yeah. So try to stay out these streets for real and educate yourself, as Keith likes to say. Educate yourself. Learn about something, pick up a trade, do something. Try. If you out here in these streets, use that money in the streets to go do something positive with your life. You know what I'm saying? Pull a Hove. Use Hove as your blueprint if that's what you need to do.
Pun intended. No, not
intended. No, real talk. Fun. Go ahead. It's my fault.
No, I was gonna say I fully agree with Scott. My initial thoughts is it's really sad to hear that. Because I knew it increased. I didn't realize until you explained those numbers how significant that increase is. And especially during such a trying time where so many people have died just because of this pandemic alone. And then also you have to think too, when this pandemic started, the Black community was hit the most because we were dying at a significantly higher rate than everyone else, which in my opinion is why Trump didn't care to take it as seriously. But then to add on to the thousands upon thousands of people who died in our community due to something that we have no control over, and then to see that rate go up is very disheartening. It's very depressing. And globally, I've stated this before on this podcast, globally, Black men, there's a shortage of Black men globally. That's not just in the United States, that's across the globe. And to see how many of them have died, just looking at Philadelphia alone, from both the pandemic and from homicides, it's just like, wow. Like, it's really, really heartbreaking to see that. As a Black woman, especially for me, I'm a Black woman who can't even imagine dating outside of my race because I love the strength of a Black man. I'm a Black woman who wants to bring my children up in a household of a Black woman and a Black man as their figures. So it's like, just to see that and have that knowledge behind me of kind of like knowing that those numbers are decreasing is very depressing. But on top of that, I think that both cases, both the homicides and the pandemic, in reference to our community being affected so much, has a lot to do with how much our government does not care about us, because this could have been controlled if they had properly shut down things when they should have, if they had properly put resources into our communities. I'm not saying that because I hate when people take this notion as I'm saying all Black people are poor, because there's not. Right. But I'm just speaking.
You're alluding to what Scott said about poverty and
exactly. And it's like, and that goes hand in hand, because he's correct. That has been proven to go hand in hand. Impoverished areas deal with higher homicide because it's poorer people. And so when you're already poor and then you end up in a pandemic where the government doesn't care about you, about your well-being, is not doing everything in its power to help you, but is doing everything in its power to help these $1 trillion and $1 billion companies to continue flourishing, rather than doing what the government is supposed to do, which is to be there for the people and protect the people. It's just like, it angers me, but then I'm still also sad, like it's just two bad emotions that clash when I like hear this type of stuff. So that's how I feel. Like, it's
but still
just,
not
it's very
surprised,
unfortunate.
like with the last one.
Yeah, no, it's not surprising at all too. And that's the other thing that is also very disheartening, is that I should be shocked, but I'm not.
Right.
I think, real quick though, I think what you said was very important, V. Because one thing that you did say that I was like, yo, it has some credence to it. One stereotype that has credence to it is that a lot of Black people are poor. It's a stat. It says Black people in Philadelphia specifically are twice as likely to live in poverty than white people. Twice as likely.
It's hard out here for a pimp.
First of all, V, you said like really good stuff, like really powerful stuff. I appreciate all that you said. But I want to talk about Philly as a nigga from Philly. Philly is the most fake tough, hating ass city in the world. I'm not going no pandemic.
Talk about it. I'm not
going to talk about no pandemic of, oh, I'm just poor. A nigga will shoot you because you stepped on his phasals and just said, what you think, I'm a punk? Like, it just off of that. Philly got too much ego. Philly want to be the next Chirac. That's from all the words he listened to. Scoop said earlier, like, oh, that's everybody listening to the Chirac music, and Philly just want to be somebody else. Philly want to be on the mat. Everyone want to be a killer. Everyone want to be tough. Everyone feel like they got to prove themselves. So I just feel like that's why the murder rate going up. And especially when you got one person out there who got 17 baby moms and getting broke off half of them stimulus checks, and now he walking down dripping, and now his homie not dripping the same way. But now his homie feel like he acting crazy on him. So now his homie mad, so his homie got something to prove. That's how Philly go. Philly is really a hate. There's no love in the city of brotherly love at all.
Doggy dog. So okay, I know Scott want to reply to that. You itching.
No, it's just that what Keith is talking about is true, but when you think about what happens, like most of crime is with men, right? In society, what are men supposed to be? We're supposed to be the providers
and protectors.
Right? And if I just remember this statistic correctly, if we are the most impoverished big city in the country, and Black people, Black men are twice as likely to be impoverished than white men in the city, you got to think about how emasculating that is. We got to deal with racism, police brutality, all different forms. And if
your inability to provide affects your mental. Gotcha.
Absolutely. But your inability to provide and protect. You just said it yourself. The homicide rate is up. People, and if the homicide rate is up, that's indicative of other things too. Drugs, robberies, attempted murders, and attempted shootings.
That number is ridiculous. That's in the thousands. That's a whole
right.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
The shootings in the thousands.
And so when you think about it like that, yo, you can't protect your kids, you can't protect your woman, you can't protect yourself, you can't protect your brothers. The only thing that you have, in the sense of when you have this concept of masculinity to protect, provide, is I'm going to do it to my brothers over here, my Black neighbor over here, because I can elicit some control over this over here. And so that's where that's where that ego is.
Go ahead. I must interject because I'm half and half, but I what I've noticed in our community, a lot of us put down that protector shield, and a lot of people picked up a predatorial shield. And a lot of our men, and I gotta call it out, they prey on people in our community. They do it, and it's a mindset. What it's born from is a multiplicity of things that it's born from, but it is a mindset. It's a reason why two Black men can be outside of our environment, and if they're in another environment, sometimes they still find each other and have a problem with each other, even outside. So we have this type of predatory thing toward each other that needs to be dealt with. Now, for the sake of time, I do want to bring this up because I want to stick. This is the last point I want to make. And I want to ask you guys something because there's something I was looking for the whole time while we were talking and nobody brought it up. And I know y'all have an opinion on it. We talked about a mass shooting or domestic terrorism, right? And we talked about the individual shootings, but a shitload of them in our community, right? Nobody brought up gun control. Now, is everybody Democrats in here, or is anybody not a?
I'm not a Democrat.
You're not a Democrat? Okay.
No.
I don't identify necessarily as a Democrat.
I'm not.
Okay, all right. But we lean more. I don't know. Whatever. That's not even.
I am left. I guess in essence,
we're all kind of.
Yeah, I'm left. I'm definitely more left.
Left leaning. Yeah.
Okay. So left more is more for gun control. Do you guys? How much? Because nobody put it on gun control in either case. Do you guys feel like gun control has a lot to do with it or little to do with it?
So that's a very deep question, right? So I'm trying to compact that. So in reference to what we were talking about earlier, to the mass shootings that these white men, because it's typically white men. So we have the Colorado, we have the Atlanta. You can think about the schools, you can think about the movie theater, you can think about all types.
All the way back to Columbine,
right? Typically white men. Yes, I think gun control is an issue. There's no reason why a teenage boy should be able to buy a gun and then be able to go into his school and shoot it up. In reference to our community, I don't know if I necessarily think gun control is, because we're a lot of Black men who are getting their guns who are like in these, I hate to say gang, but you know what I mean, like gang lifestyle type of thing. It's like they're rarely getting their guns legally anyway. So I don't really know how gun control would play that much of a role to combat it. But I think that gun control absolutely will play a bigger role when you're looking at these quote unquote mentally ill, as they like to call them, rather than call them terrorists, which is what they are. White men who are and teenage boys who are doing these mass shootings. Like a prime example is that protest where that white boy went up, shot. What did he do? He shot. Was he killed 2 people or 3? Something like that. The protests after.
Oh, you talking about?
I can't remember.
Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. Yes, his name.
Yeah, and it's like that's a prime example of a 17-year-old boy was able to go to a protest with an AR-15 and shoot people up and stay out of trouble with it. Like that to me is a gun control issue.
Okay.
I guess in this particular topic, I'm very right leaning. I believe in guns wholeheartedly.
Get them guns, Scott.
I'm actually I'm looking to get me a gun. I believe in that. I don't believe in the police. And for that reason, I believe in guns. And protecting yourself, because I damn sure know the police ain't gonna protect me. To the same level that they protect others. And to V's point about gun control, I do believe that if we do control the flow of guns, it will stop the people from being able to purchase them so readily.
Criminals.
Yeah, criminals. All right, come on. We all right. I don't like to use the word criminal.
You're a career criminal. You're a criminal. Call it what it is.
No, but when you say criminal, it implies something else other than. But anyway, I don't like the. Back to what I was saying though. I lost my damn train of thought. But when you stop or limit the flow of the weapons, that does make it much more difficult for people to get a hold of them. So you will see less petty criminals or less people having the guns and more organized crimes and more, people of higher status criminals have these guns and shit. I do believe though that there is something to be said about trying to put a Band-Aid over it. And I think that's exactly what gun control is, a fucking Band-Aid. I don't think that's a real solution, because what you're trying to do is change the symptom of the problem. Because although guns are a lot more effective at killing people, people aren't going to stop killing people if they didn't have guns. They would just use a fucking sword or knives or a bow and arrow like we used to do 100, 200, 300 years ago. They would use something. Somebody dying.
Nigga ever walk into the market and stab 13 people?
Somebody gonna take him down. I'm just saying, somebody gonna take him down. Like,
the point I'm trying to make though is that tragedies and killings are going to happen no matter what, and guns just make it a lot easier to do. I don't want my right to have a gun and protect myself be taken away because I know other motherfuckers is gonna be out here with a gun, and I don't have a gun, and I get shot or somebody pull on me. What the fuck I'm gonna do? That's my
you gonna get shot with that gun on you too. I'm just letting you know.
No, I could be. No, but my chances.
No,
I know
what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I know what you're saying. I got a strap too.
Can I respond to that really quick?
Go ahead,
I'm sorry. I know Keith was about to say something, but I just wanted to say something really quick. I think it's a misconception people have that gun control equals taking away the rights to guns. Like gun control, depending on how you look at it, gun control is just controlling how easy or how difficult it is to obtain that gun. Like for me, I also believe in that, like the gun system. I go to the shooting range for therapeutic reasons. Like I'm just saying, like if I'm angry, I'm going to the shooting range. Okay, I'm like, you know what? Boom, boom, boom. Like I'm just letting it all out. But at the same time,
she wasn't.
Right, but at the same time, I still believe in gun control to an extent because I don't think that it should be as easy as it is for people to get guns. And I also think that there should be a limit of the type of guns people have access to. I don't think that a regular human being should have access to a military, like something they use in the military to go to war with. Like, I don't feel like that makes sense, but I still think it's okay to have guns. I'm just saying that I just wanted to put that out there, that I feel like it's a misconception that when you're for gun control or if you believe in it, then you want people to not be able to have access to guns. And I don't think it's that at all. I just think that it should be a little more difficult than what it is right now.
I'm glad you said that, V. I'm sorry, we spent a lot of time on this.
Hey, hold on.
All right, go ahead.
I had one good fact that I got from CNN.
Uh-oh.
Fact. And V was like, I'm gonna take that motherfucker. I don't think people should have access to military guns. That's all I had, V.
That's all
you had? All I had.
Oh, man.
That was it. I was going like, yeah, people shouldn't be able to do cars and be able to carry them around. V. Bro, she made it sound smarter than I was gonna say it and everything. God damn it, my dad is never gonna be proud of me.
Oh man, see, that's why you gotta jump in. You gotta.
I was trying.
I'm gonna say something. You know she was gonna take that.
I should have just let you have that moment. My bad.
See, but if our right to bear arms is so that we could remain free, right? And that I'm talking about the original point, right? So if our military can have them, why can't we? What if the military decide to say we're gonna keep y'all in the house? Why shouldn't we be able to fight back? It could be an all-out war.
Hold on, Scoop. We have zero fucking chance against the military.
Got you.
Zero.
I feel you.
Zero.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Still, I want my ARs.
So you got niggas who trained to be a marksman in the military.
Right? Yeah, you have no chance against them.
That's cool. That's cool too. But if that's what they're gonna hold on to, that's what it is. I mean, if we talking about it, the same military is gonna have to pick a side though. If we're gonna talk about the Capitol being breached, right? Those are the same people who were police officers, military. So that's the whole point. So we don't have a chance against our military if it's black people against the military. But if it's like them against them, who knows? I mean, at most, you shouldn't be able to get like a sniper rifle or something like that. Like, at least, like, we got a low red at some point. Like, you can't get, at least not an auto rifle, at least like just a one bullet rifle. Oftentimes, a handgun is just as effective. Yeah. You can't mass shoot with a handgun.
Bro, a handgun is nowhere near
I hit the target. Oh, wait, am I on mute? No, I hit the target every time.
I mean, you saw that. I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying you saw it on the firing pin. They got rapid fire. Yeah. And you can get magazines. You can put 100 shots on a Glock. That's all I'm saying.
You can, but you have way more stability with an AR. You got way more range. You can put it's way. It's not.
That's why I said 100 shots. But if you think about it, right, this is what I'm saying. These shootings that are done, if we're talking about whether we're talking about the 500 murders in 2020 that are up by 55%, or we're talking about the mass shootings, one done with an AR, the other done with a Glock, all guns.
Right.
So what are really the weapons of mass destruction? What's the difference between an AR and a Glock or a 9 if most shootings done in this country or killings done in this country are done with handguns?
As effective as one is more effective than the other. But I did want to say something though, Scoop, about gun control and Scoop to V's point earlier. I don't know about you, but I know the government is notorious for misregulating shit. And I don't want the government regulating my guns because I know they're going to do something, somehow, some way, make it less accessible to Black people. I know they are. I know it's going to be racist policies in place against Black people. I know it. And so is that what we're asking for as Black people, to be disproportionately affected by these policies? Because that's the history. That's the history. So is that what we want? That's the question now. I'm asking. Do we want that? Huh?
I think they put the guns in the community to make more of an issue. I think they would be more willing to give us the guns. Like, all right, we'll go kill each other then.
No, I disagree. Bro, they put mandatory
in
minimums.
the community. Why would they?
No, Bill Clinton literally put mandatory minimums if you get found with a gun, if you got caught with a gun. If they put
niggas ain't
in
care nothing about that.
Then they still put the guns in the community. It was like, all right, good. Now we got your asses.
Now we can lock you up. But but they don't. I guarantee you, they don't want Black people militias. They don't want Black militias. They don't want that. That's called we had that. It's called the Black Panthers. We know the story with the Black Panthers.
And that changed the whole gun law right there.
Right.
Boom.
So I don't believe that. But they don't want us having weapons. They want us in jail.
That fact too,
they want us doing what they want us to do. But my point is that as Black people, as a Black person, as a Black man, why would I advocate for more government control when the people who are in charge of the government already put all these racist policies in place that are disenfranchising our people?
That's a solid question. And you might find out the answer on the next episode of TalkHvy. Now, since we're talking about racist institutions, let's talk about the Grammys. We had the Grammys this year during another panoramic, and it was some things that happened. So let's just, I don't want to just call out what happened. I don't want to get right into it. So you guys give me some of your favorite parts of the Grammys and all of that cute stuff.
When it went off because Nicki ain't win another Grammy.
Ooh, damn. She never deserved one, but I got you. I get
when
it.
Beyonce showed up, because Beyonce showed up on some smoothness. Beyonce aura,
she pulled up.
Beyonce aura is so great. Like you can. I don't know anyone who can hate Beyonce. Like when she just pop up places, she just there. I'm like, oh my god.
Carrie Hilson.
Oh Jesus, that's a name that I didn't hear in years.
Yeah, for good reason, right?
She dissed Beyonce, and then her career just.
I argued for you, Carrie. Jesus,
you did.
I remember that. I remember that argument like it was yesterday.
I think, great Beyonce showed up, but I think the bigger story for the Knowles is that Blue Ivy won a Grammy.
Hey,
she won a sippy cup.
Won a sippy cup.
That is, if you talking about like their family is untouchable now.
Yes, let's talk about nepotism for a minute. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy.
Let's talk about privilege.
How old is Blue Ivy?
Nobody's keeping count.
Regardless, this minor child, I think she's like 9, but Blue Ivy won. Actually, no, I think she's younger than that. Because her and North are around the same age. But regardless, she won a Grammy. Like, what? That's unheard of. That's unheard of. Like,
that's unheard of.
Yeah,
let's talk.
Is it unheard of?
I never heard of it. I never heard of a
I
girl
mean,
named Blue Woman.
what other like power?
You ain't hear Blue Ivy crying on Jay-Z's joint?
Wait, what?
When she was a baby, she was crying on Jay-Z's joint. That's when her stardom started to go off. When you Google Blue Ivy, she's a music artist. If you Google her right now, it's gonna say musical artist Blue Ivy Carter.
You know what?
It's gonna say Grammy Award winning.
Blue
Ivy
you know
Carter.
what? You know what? This ain't toxic enough. I don't like it.
Okay, that's fine. But
so
that's all I got
Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion had a performance. Let's just get to it.
You know, like uplifting black women?
That was not uplifting black women, their performance.
You said it's not toxic enough, but no, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Because
you know why? You know why?
Words
because I know
have
people
meaning.
like you in this world.
Me?
Don't think that Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion performance was tasteful.
How you trying to throw me under the bus? I never said that.
All right. I'm just saying, okay, so you never said it, but it's people out here that says that wasn't a tasteful performance, and there's kids watching the show. The Grammys should be for family entertainment, and Cardi B and Meg should be mindful of that, and they shouldn't have performed in the fashion that they performed. What are you guys' thoughts? Let's hear from our expert on women, Venice.
I'm just confused as to when Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B became everybody's parents for their kids. Like last time I checked, I don't know about y'all, but I don't have the money to go see the Grammys live quite yet. Keith, we know you live a different life.
He in another tax bracket.
You know what I'm saying?
That's regular people.
I am not that blessed quite yet. So if I'm watching the Grammys at my household, I don't have children, but I have 10 nieces and nephews, so it's close enough because I live with them. And the Grammys happen to be on, and I see the Cardi of the Bees and the Megan of the Stallions popping what they like to call their WAP. Then I, as their momty, can go ahead and turn off the TV. Why is that Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion's responsibility of what your children see on your television at your household?
At your household. Let them know, V.
What? Like that? I hate that argument. I've heard that so many times, and I'm just like, are you kidding me?
It sounds like a bunch of angry white women. That's what it sounds like.
It always sounds like a bunch of angry white women.
No. She concurred.
I think white women are menace to societies. I'm convinced.
Jesus, y'all pouring on thick today, ain't you?
The Karens is crazy.
Like, regardless of how you feel about like their performance, to bring children into it, to me, that just questions your parenthood. Because my immediate response to that is, well, if you feel that strongly about it, why did you let your kids watch it?
Well, I guess their points was I had to turn off the Grammys because this was on.
Oh my God.
I think that they might have. I think
white privilege at its finest. You had to turn the channel for 2 minutes and 45 seconds because Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B was on stage popping a WAP. Oh my God. Like the Grammys doesn't go on.
Let's call it what it is. They were advertising smut.
What do you mean advertising smut?
Oh God.
Advertising smut. It's so self-explanatory.
Well,
but I think we all consume it though, right? We like smut. I like smut. If we're gonna call it that, I like to see booty cheeks.
You watch Megan Thee Stallion's page every day,
daily,
religiously, and I have no shame.
That's Como.
And you know what? I think we all like butt, and I don't think there's a problem with that. And I don't think if you don't want your kids looking at butt, don't expose them to butt. I mean, at the end of the day, eventually they're going to be exposed to some booty cheeks, and if they're going to probably like them. If they're a sexual being, they're gonna like booty cheeks. Like, I don't know too many people that don't like ass. So, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand the fake mad, the fake anger when you got former somebody who had literally killed the person opening the show. So, like, you know, I don't. Even though he was vindicated, the baby, in self-defense. But he
did he kill somebody else? Did he kill somebody at the Grammys?
No, he didn't. But
Bad
what I'm
analogy.
saying, nah, how is that? It's not a bad analogy.
Bad analogy. It is because you're talking
what
about
you're
something that
exposing
happened.
your children to, but what you're exposing your children to are things that you consider negative, and I'm pretty sure if they knew the things that some of the rappers who they had heading up the Grammys, what they were doing in their past life, they wouldn't be okay with it.
But they don't.
The Grammys is under family entertainment, though. So I mean, generally under family entertainment, you don't get WAP. That's all.
If you're going by the guidelines of the TV,
yeah. If you're going by the guidelines, if I'm watching a show, that's under family entertainment with my family, then I'm probably not expecting to see
the family got there
popping
from some WAP. The family ain't get there out of nowhere.
Right, but that don't mean
that's how you here. That's how I'm here. That's how V here. That's how Keith here.
No, don't say I'm here because my mom WAP. I ain't never seen my mom got no damn WAP. Don't bite that bullet by yourself.
Don't be speaking on my mom's situation.
We all here.
My dad told me that yesterday, so
that's a whole other conversation.
He said, "Wait, what's your pop say?"
Oh, see, this is
nothing. But I wanted to say something in reference to what Scoop was saying about advertising slut and
on a family program.
Blah 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 blah. Cardi B made a very valid point when she said, "If y'all don't want to hear women rapping about popping punani or sexual things or doing all this sexual stuff, then stop buying the music that sells that type of like you can't it's just okay. This is my whole thing, right? A lot of female rappers rap about a lot of different things. Their music that sells is the music similar to WAP. So if that's the music that's selling, that's the music industry, which is also male dominated, is pushing, then how are you complaining about them doing exactly what you want them to do?
Well, I think that's the point. They didn't ask for that, right? So they were watching the Grammys. They didn't tune into a Cardi B or Meg Thee Stallion show. Now, with that being said, they had a problem with the Grammys as well. Like, why would they allow that to happen? So if we're looking at a situation where they're watching the Grammys, like we'll be watching the Grammys, and somebody from a rock and roll group may perform. If I'm not aware of the type of music that they sing or any of those things, right? And they start to say something inappropriate that my child sees, I might say, why the hell are they putting this on TV? Like, I'm not aware of this rock group. Let's say their name is Broken Glass. They be having names like that. So, say their name is Broken Glass, and Broken Glass get on there and decide to push whatever their agenda is. And they like, well, this sells and this is what y'all wanted. I didn't ask for that. I just asked for the Grammys. I asked for greatness and musical excellence. And, this is not what I asked for. So I guess what they're saying is, I'm not buying it. I tuned into the Grammys, and I expected not to see a strip club scene in the Grammys because I like to protect my children from those types of things. I don't think that they're ready to see that.
And to
so
your
go ahead.
To your point, Scoop, how do we know they didn't turn it off? This is the lowest rating Grammys all time. Maybe they seen a little cheek and turned it off, and they were disgusted because the kid had to see the cheek right then and there.
Exactly. That's my point. They probably turned it off.
Like, oh my God.
They're not asking Cardi B and Meg to be parents to their children. Just show a little discretion when you're doing a family damn show.
So, okay. Where I disagree at is multiple areas, right? Because one, even your Broken Glass analogy, Broken Glass is performing this song at the Grammys because that song sold a lot and clearly was deemed popular, which means majority of the people who are into that genre like that song and want to see it perform. Regardless of what was said, regardless of how the performance is, what comes with that. And I feel like it's the same with the Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. WAP did numbers. That was a top selling song for an extended period of time. So even if there are some people who feel a type of way for it, that song has proven that majority of the people liked that song because it did numbers. It performed very well and it made the industry a lot of money. And also, just from the lyrics of the song, what's coming along with that regardless. So I don't agree in that sense. Like, like, because even beyond WAP, there's so many other songs that are deemed inappropriate, but because they do numbers and because they sell well, they're performed at the Grammys regardless.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they were up there and they literally got
it.
naked.
Still was
they were doing exactly
smut.
what.
I also
said what?
They were still peddling smut.
Okay, so even if that's the case, though, doing that.
I'm being dead serious. If Broken Glass made a song, it's a bunch of people out there that agree with, if you comply with the police, you won't get killed. If Broken Glass made a song about that and it was popular, I might have a problem with it if it come on and now my kid's like, whoa, maybe they're telling the truth. Like, no, fuck that.
I'm not disagreeing with that though. Like, I get exactly what you're saying because we don't listen to that genre, so we don't know what they're saying in those type of songs. So you would be right to feel a type of way. My point though is that the Grammys has done enough, has done enough research to know that song did numbers, regardless of if you heard it and regardless of how you feel about it. That number has done numbers enough and has generated enough revenue that it was worth them playing it at the Grammys. And I feel it's the same with WAP.
Don't perform WAP at a family program.
Can we do a moral of the story?
The moral of the story is stop acting like you don't like sex. That's the moral.
No, that's not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is
what? that was a horrible moral. Give me one, Keith. Give me a good one, Keith.
Today's moral story is Scott loves butts more than he loves kid innocence.
I love that one. I like it. We're gonna stick with that one. I don't think
innocence and butt got anything to do with each other.
Yeah. All right, God bless you. So
you go to jail.
We're gonna talk about somebody that couldn't get enough butt, or a couple of men who couldn't get enough butt. Two men that were in relationships. They couldn't stop. They just couldn't stop. One by the name of Derek Jackson, relationship guru. Oh my gosh! If you heard about him, if you don't know who I'm talking about, let me just say this. Ladies, if you cheat on your man and he leaves you, then he didn't really love you from the beginning, because a real man sticks by his woman. Stop letting these guys out here just tell you what to do with your life. You're free to do whatever you want to do. So you probably should get, let me do this. Yeah, that guy. And he had a nerve to drag his wife, who we've never seen. In his BS, he took a page out of my girl's book, Jada Pinkett. When you get caught, bring your spouse in and make them be a part of your apology. That whole thing, right? And then my guy Quavo, allegedly, no proof, may have got caught doing something. Who knows? And Saweetie decided to break up with my man for no apparent reason. I don't like it. I don't like it. It don't sit right with me. It don't sit right with me.
One thing Scoop will do is defend men,
Oh, absolutely. Always and forever. Oh.
All right, Kevin Samuels, go ahead.
Kevin Samuels is the GOAT.
Boy, Derek. Hold on. V, I would like for V. I want to hear from V.
I'm gonna let Scoop finish. Go ahead.
Oh no. I just was done. Saweetie decided to go ahead and break up with my man for nothing.
I'm not acknowledging what Scoop just said about Quavo and Saweetie. Like, that's ridiculous. But Derek Jackson, I am on your ass today. Let me show you.
Bring your ass here.
You literally built your entire. This man is 31 years old. He started doing this when he was like 20 or 21, somewhere around there. So
put that time in.
A decade. You built your entire career, the whole thing. Because we don't know you for shit else. I don't even know what your degree is in. All I know is that for a decade, you built your career telling women what type of men to avoid, not to tolerate cheating, not to tolerate narcissistic activity, not to tolerate male toxicity. Then you had the audacity to call out black men who were getting caught publicly cheating on their wives, cheating on their girlfriends, doing this, talking to them any old type of way, not disclosing full information, not cutting off people from their past. And then, long and behold, you've been cheating since the beginning of fucking time, bruh. Like, not only were you cheating while you was writing these damn books, while you had this little stupid ass game that you told all of us to play with niggas so we can see if he's a real one or not.
And you played it, didn't you, V? You played it. Just go ahead and say it.
She
I'm not
definitely
gonna
played
lie,
that.
I didn't buy it, but somebody I know had it, and I was. But back to my point. Then you is out here. This man, I lost track of how many books he's written and sold. Like, let's start there. But they all was bestsellers because it's Derek Jackson. You know what I'm saying? He called us Team Jackson, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a part of the team.
You was on the team.
Fraud, yo. I
Point guard.
Fraud, man. When I was dealing with my situation, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to Derek Jackson videos every day, binge watching them like a Netflix fucking series. And this nigga was out here doing the opposite. Like, okay, this is why I'm mad at Derek Jackson, right? Because I'm all about people getting a coin. What I don't support is people scamming people. And you are a scammer. How dare you sit here and tell a stranger like me and the millions of other women, oh, don't deal with narcissists, and then come to find out you are the narcissist you was talking about. Had the audacity to tell us, oh, don't deal. If a man doesn't cut off his previous sexual dealings for you, he doesn't take you seriously. Then during the interview, you forced your wife to do. I don't believe the bullshit that she came up with that idea. You forced your wife to do. She and you confirmed that you were that nigga. And the reason you was cheating was because you refused to cut off the people you were having sex with when she asked you to. Then he said, oh, well, if a man, doesn't, what did he say? He said, if a man won't allow you to see his phone or won't allow you to do this or do that, then he's hiding something. Then come to find out, your wife just got your password 2 months ago. Then, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally everything you told us as women not to tolerate from men is exactly what you were doing to the queen of your kingdom, your wife, the mother of your 2 children. How dare you disrespect her like that? What is wrong with you?
Miss V? Miss V? Can I put some accountability your way? Now here, listen here, V. They say the best teacher is experience. How you think he knew to tell y'all all of these things?
How you think he knew?
No. Let me clarify. Right? I agree with that.
Glad we was all thinking.
I agree with that though. Like, I agree with that. But my whole thing is, I don't think that. Like, I feel like it's one thing when you the way he was preaching it was as if he was living it rather than he previously lived it, right? So the difference between him and like Pastor Michael Todd, who also it came out that he cheated on his wife, was that with Pastor Todd, he at least stopped, and it's been proven that he has continuously changed his actions and has continuously to go down this journey with his wife for years, not like just 2 months ago when it came out that you cheated on your wife. Like, no, he had been doing what he needed to do. So when he's preaching about, what to tolerate and things of that nature, he can speak from experience, but he's also preaching he's also living what he's preaching. Derek Jackson was out here telling people to do stuff, doing the complete opposite to the woman he loved. Like, I just feel like that's so humiliating. And to Mrs. Jackson,
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
First of all, you probably should have took your husband's advice. You probably should have been binge watching his damn videos your own self. Because how is
you should have did your hair before the interview.
Stop. Because honestly, I've heard people argue that was on purpose, and I kind of agree. But story for another day.
You came on looking like Scott. What are you doing?
Like, what annoyed?
Scott, is that you?
What annoyed me about his wife, right, the most was during the interview when he interviewed her about her trauma caused by him come on, Jada Pinkett Smith. Like, this is not
come
the red
through with
table
a word,
talk.
Jada.
But she kept saying like, oh, people are asking why didn't I leave? Well, I did leave. No, you didn't, because you're still there. Like, you left temporarily, like anybody would do. But when people ask you, why didn't you leave? You know exactly what they're talking about. They're not talking about, oh, you up and left, took a break, separated for 9 months and then came back. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're asking you, why didn't you leave? If you filed for divorce, if you were so done, if this was the last straw, you told him if he cheats ever again, this was it. Because he had cheated numerous, probably hundreds of times before that, the way they were making it seem. But you're confused why people are asking you, why did you leave? You didn't
I got
leave.
a question, V. Was his message wrong, or like was he on point with his message?
No, I'm not saying his messages were wrong. Like, I think, well, let me take that back, because I'll take that back, because I will say that there's a lot of videos I didn't agree with. There were a lot of videos that he did that I didn't agree with, but for the ones that I did agree with, I will say, like, I don't think his messaging was wrong, but I don't think that excuses that, like, that's just wrong to do. Like, how do you sleep at night knowing you're telling all of these women to do shit and not tolerate what you're being to the mother of your
because they needed to hear it.
No,
them women needed to hear it. It don't matter if I'm living it or not. If you need to hear the truth, I can give you the truth.
I have 2 friends who have gone to his live shows, and he would sell out live shows, giving live advice to these women, telling them not to deal with basically him. Like, that's
if the
insane
advice
to
is
me.
good advice, though, it really shouldn't matter if he was living it or not.
All that great, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I think it sucked. I think his advice did suck. But at the same time, if you feel like that you were getting something, if you still got it, right? It really doesn't matter if he was living it or not.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I did want to say something. The reason why I don't think his advice was so great, because he pandered to women so fucking much. And like, he pandered to women
red flag
so much. And women just eat that shit up. I'm like, y'all don't see. Like, when he just treats y'all like y'all just this infallible, perfect being.
Science,
it's like,
Scott.
Right? I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Women love that.
Even
when they know it's a lie.
I know. I'm like, y'all don't see through that. Like, what's up? That's the first joint. Like, Keith said, that's the first red flag off rip. And then the second joint is he's an entertainer. He is somebody who is selling things. He's trying to make money. And I don't think people understand the difference between a character and a real person. He plays a character. He is Derek Jackson with that X. And his 2 minute, 5 minute videos. His rant videos. No, but for real though, he is a character. That's not him. You don't really know who this man is. All you know is what this man portrays to you. You haven't seen him at his worst. You haven't seen him at his best even. You don't know who this person is. You don't know anything about his marriage. You don't know anything about his personal relationships. So for people to sit here and find these videos and then put these people on a pedestal is kind of like you did it to yourself. And in my opinion, you do it to yourself. You don't really know these people. And people tend to do that with celebrities. They deify them. They put them on pedestals. And then when the celebrities let them down, they act so fucking surprised. And they're like, oh my God, they're human beings, just like everyone else. Yes, they are.
But like, you wouldn't be mad like if your favorite influencer, like somebody that you believe is like fighting for the right cause, like let's say black people is a thing near and dear to your heart, right, Scott? So say if like you found out that they was just lying the whole time, that wouldn't like hurt you a little bit.
But that's real shit, though. We're not talking about real shit.
No, the relationships is real, bro. What you talking about?
All right, you're right. You're right.
That is real life.
You're right in a way. But in a way, we're talking about problems in the community. And if you taking advantage of people in that way, that's a little different to me.
Don't make the shoe fit for your narrative.
For my narrative, I don't ever put people on pedestals. I look at their actions and then I commend them for their actions, not for them as people, though.
All right.
Because I don't know you personally.
Did he ever say he don't cheat?
Huh?
Did he ever say he never cheated before?
No,
That is a good point.
Right. Was it just an assumed thing that he did cheat, or
That
did he
is a
say
good point. Did he ever say, "I'm not like this, y'all"? Or did he just lead y'all to believe that he wasn't like the men that he was talking about?
He did. So like he has positioned himself like he made it seem and he implied that a lot of the stuff he was saying was stuff that he was practicing. Like, I don't feel like a lot of the women who were upset, especially the ones who stand him, because like I watched his videos to a degree. I'm not going to lie, like probably 2020, 2019 is when I started getting annoyed by him, because I do feel like there were a lot of cases where it's like, all right, bro, like you doing a lot now.
Doing a lot,
yeah, right. But prior to that, it seemed like, you know, he used to do like a lot of lives, a lot of Q&As, like talking about his life. And like when people were saying like, oh, this is the first time he showed his wife. Well, it's not. But again, you had to be a real fan to know that. So that's still a problem, that the majority of your fan base has no idea that you were married. Like I was aware, but that's because I had followed him years ago and I saw when he went to his wedding and stuff like that, right? So that's a problem, because he built majority of his fan base over the past few, like 2 to 3 years. So that's a problem. But regardless, I get what Scott's saying. I agree with majority of what you're saying. It's just, I feel like it's still messed up to really be out here teaching and preaching what you not living. Like that's to me like scamming. That's just how I feel.
Scamming. And we don't respect that.
And the reason too why I think the reason it stood out to me, and the reason why I became so passionately angry about it, was because of the fact that he used this scandal and forced his wife into the situation to sell his book. Like that's sick to me. Like if you're such a private person and you don't want people in your personal, like your personal whatever, it's just like, and you're doing this video to like explain the story and, you know, let your fans in and apologize to her publicly and, you know, show where y'all are at. It would have been much more genuine if you just left it at that. Regardless, I didn't believe it, but what really ticked me off was when he started promoting his book with it. It's just like, are you kidding me?
I mean, he like, well, since y'all here,
word,
y'all might as well.
What they say, any publicity is good publicity. Isn't that the
same? And y'all don't even dig the fact that he set this whole thing up. That's a whole nother story. He was getting cold in these streets. Derek Jackson needed his name brought back up.
Right.
And now he got the perfect thing, and I bet you that book do exactly what it set out to do. And that's that. Now, a conversation was brought up, and we could touch on this real quick. Saweetie and Quavo was broken up. It was rumored that he took his gifts back. Now, I think that we clarified that that's not true, but would Quavo be petty, or he would be, you know, in his rights to repo some of those gifts he gave? It's so icy, girl, sweet.
It's so icy.
Or as my man said on the DMs, so we.
Is that legal? Can you legally do that?
I mean, if he never put her OJ, name on it,
he did like 20 years for taking his stuff back.
Right. So obviously it's not illegal.
He'd be petty LaBelle for it, but
he definitely petty, and it would be illegal.
What if he needed it?
That's what I'm saying. They said Amigos not getting paid, so he might needed that shit. Like, come on, sweetie. You got money.
I heard.
He like, all right, sweetie, you got this TikTok money going. You got this money.
You got Fashion Nova deals. You doing
money going.
I need them Birkins back.
Family got bread.
Yeah,
I need them Birkins back. That was a whole year worth of salary. I mean, listen, I heard that what you say, quality control pay their artists in cars and Birkins.
Yeah, that's it. That's all they pay him. They pay him in items and shit. So he needed the stuff back to sell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When the last time the Migos put out a hit song? Exactly. Like they not.
You ain't even give us a chance. Exactly.
Wait, that money. If he took it back, and then I hate the fact that people try to make it seem like that it was because of Quavo they broke up because Saweetie said something. It was because Saweetie did it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why do the man always get the blame soon as a breakup happens?
That's what I'm saying. Saweetie put on a whole little interview thing and talked about getting her booty hole licked with her ex-boyfriend.
Wasn't that after they broke up?
We don't want to hear this, V.
Nope, it didn't air after they broke up. No one knows. We don't know when
it's our turn, V.
Okay. Oh, so y'all just making assumptions and rolling with it. Okay.
Just like you did with Derek Jeter. We
There
out
you
here
go.
making assumptions about what happened in this motherfucking case.
I was misled. That's
You was led astray. Bamboozled.
They call him Derek Jeter, yo.
Yeah, I mean, so we hope the so Icy's get back together. You know what I mean? I do, man.
I don't like Sweet.
I hope they get back together, man. Take that man back. If he did something wrong, look at yourself, sweetie. What did you do to make that man do that?
Cheat. That's what I'm saying. What did you do to make him cheat?
What did you do? That's the thing. Women don't like accountability. That's the problem.
Black men don't cheat for no reason. Obviously,
that's what I'm saying. It's something. There's an area that you need to lift up in your life. You know what I'm saying? There's somewhere where you were lacking.
Hell, you want a Birkin?
Why are you staying with somebody who makes you feel like you need to cheat?
Huh?
Oh, all right.
You said something?
You said what?
All I'm saying is all she needs. Listen. She's 90% there. All she needs to do is evaluate that 10% that she needs to fix, so my man don't go out. Yeah, that's all. That's it. Tweak that.
You hit her with the Derek Jackson logic, bro?
Huh? You said something?
Not even.
You with the Derek Jackson logic?
Not even. Derek did a better job than that.
Yeah, that's really that Derek Jeter. No, that's that Alex Rodriguez. But yeah, man, that's what it is, man. So Icy's, man, I wish y'all the best. You know what I mean? And let the best Birkin win. So next up we have Was I Wrong? Now, in this Was I Wrong, we have a young football player by the name of Desean Watson. And apparently he was getting massages and he was expecting happy endings. I'm not sure how many he got, but I know he allegedly attempted to get, well, how many?
Scoop, present the news, Scoop. He got 13 lawsuits filed against him, bro.
Civil lawsuits.
He got 13 civil lawsuits, not criminal.
Not criminals.
Scoop trying to mix in his assumptions with the real news.
Okay, so the real news is Desean Watson, quarterback for the Houston Texans.
Allegedly.
Has 13 civil lawsuits against him for touching massage therapists with his penis.
Mid massage.
Now, was he wrong for touching these masseuses, if you will, these massee? I don't know if that's plural for with his penis.
Allegedly.
I just now I don't want to discredit nobody's story. You know what I'm saying? Like, women get discredited all the time. But my question is, how did that happen?
How?
Like, I'm really trying to understand, like, how did that happen? Like,
because I had the same question, V, because it's body parts that you have that can just like reach out and touch. But I'm like, how does like
your penis just ain't one of them? Like,
it ain't one of them that got like you could be like
because my whole thing is it's like, so it's been proven like through multiple different studies that if you do a massage with somebody, they can absolutely have, like, you know, a man can get a hard on or a woman can get wet, whatever it is, but it's just natural. It's not like the person has control over that. Like, it's based on what you're massaging, where you're massaging, and things of that nature. So it's like, okay, so he got a massage, he got hard, which is normal when a man is getting a massage, and then they said like he touched them with it, and that's what throws me off, right? So I don't know how many professional massages y'all have gotten, but I've gotten a few, and I'm just trying to figure out what position could he possibly have been in where he would have even been capable of taking his penis and touching a masseuse with it. Like,
you should be his lawyer. Because you're making a very compelling case right
now. Like, I'm genuinely trying to understand, because it's like, okay, if he was on his back, clearly impossible, right? Clearly impossible. And I'm sorry, on his stomach. If he was on his stomach, clearly impossible.
Unless there's a hole in that area and you were like, whatever.
Right. if he's on his back, it's like, okay, so when you're on your back, you're typically getting your feet massage, you're getting the other side of your leg massage, you're
Could have
getting
been
your
getting his
arms
quad
massage.
massage.
You said what?
His quadricep. Like she massaging the quadricep. He tried, move his shit over to her hand. Like, yeah, go ahead, grab like that type of time.
You have
Like,
a chart. Can you
it.
show us where that is?
The quadricep.
Y'all are childish. Okay. So basically you saying she was massaging his thigh area or like his inner thigh.
His thigh meat.
Was like, oh, massage this too while you at it.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't say he says, or did it? Were there words?
No,
I'm just saying, like,
we are speculating.
Yeah, I'm just saying
speculating the
that's
downfall of a black
literally
man.
the only way that could potentially have happened. But I guess where I'm still a little thrown off is that he's laying down, and typically when you're laid down in that position, your arms, because they instruct you of like where to put your arms. In some cases, they have a thing that holds your arms there, so it's like you would have noticed movement. Is my point.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and say
and
this.
And also, they typically put some type of blanket over that area, a thick one too, not like a sheet. It's like almost
it holds you down,
silk, but heavy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't even know if his penis would have been strong enough to like. Do y'all understand what I'm trying to say?
No, I don't know, V, because I gotta add to your thing, right? I don't know about you guys. I don't mean to get graphic or anything, but generally, the movement that you can do with that member of your body is one direction. That's it. It's not like you have a side to side thing that goes on. I don't know about you guys, but I know me. I'm a one direction guy. Pop. That's all you can do. So if I had to go one direction, that's up. What are you massaging above that, or where are you above that where it's like pop? So are you on the other side and it's like pop? Did it hit your arm? Like
you start laughing and shit like
like, and he was like, you like that? you felt that?
Felt that? Yeah, that was me.
I'm just trying to think, where were you when he hit you with the pop?
Yeah, I just feel like in order for him to have touched a masseuse with his thing, something very disruptive and noticeable would have had to occur in that exchange. Like whether it was him lifting up the blanket and pulling it out, but by the time he got to the blanket, you would have been like, whoa, what you doing, sir? Here? You know what I'm saying? Because that blanket is heavy. I don't care what type of athlete you are. That blanket is heavy. Like, so... Yeah, I don't know. Did they get their stomachs massaged?
So the question is, was he
hip
wrong?
Flexors.
But wait,
get the hip flexors massaged.
Y'all know I love to be on the side of women in these type of situations, and I never want to go against them. But I'm 100% sure Desean Watson massage was fully naked because he's Desean Watson, and they was cool.
Fully what?
I feel like naked. I feel like these women wasn't following proper procedures because he's arguably a top 5 quarterback in the league if you want to.
Oh, so you're questioning their intent?
Yeah, their intent behind it.
So I will say, I'm not gonna lie. Someone fuck it, whatever. This athlete that I know, he was basically telling me a story about when he got a massage and the masseuse asked him to get butt naked. And he got butt naked because he left his boxers on, but she asked him to like take everything off. So he got naked.
They told me to keep my boxers on.
He got naked, and then when he put the blanket over him, like when he was on his stomach, she took the blanket completely off and started like massaging his butt and all types of stuff.
I thought it was going somewhere else. He clearly was on his stomach. Got you. All right.
Right.
Cool.
Well, I mean, we didn't get to the flip because by that point, like somebody else had came in while he was telling the story. But regardless, when he flipped over, he was still butt naked. So I don't know what happened there. But so that is a possibility, that is a possibility.
And Desean is young, so he's not gonna question it. Like I'm pretty sure the guy you talking about is young. You a young, fresh quarterback. Yeah, I'm gonna get butt naked. Go ahead, shorty, do what you gotta do. Then you
the more
get
y'all
talk.
Up. I think he's the victim here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like our Taj had wrote in the comments, talk to him, Keith. because Taj understands he's going to be lying.
Yeah, I the more that you guys bring it to the light, I think that he's suffering from people just, assuming that's one thing when it's not. You know what I mean?
Hashtag him too.
He was targeted.
He was.
Many of our black men in this country, you know what I mean? And it's a shame, man, because to make it out of poverty, just to get there and get a lawsuit, just because your natural anatomy works is sad. It's sad.
Really disappointing.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't feel like I had a dream to go to the NFL, and I feel like I can't even do it now because
can't do it.
What if I want to get a massage and I accidentally sneeze and my penis pops up and hit her in the arm? Now I just can't have allergies. Yeah, I just can't.
So I mean, I think realistically, I don't know. Think like Desean Watson. If you allegedly did these things, you out of pocket.
What?
Shouldn't be out here doing these things. You're on. So it's not the only thing they say he did. Like y'all focused on the one thing. That's really not.
You the one reading the damn article. Tell us what else he did.
No. I mean, I brought it up when the meeting. So I did read it. He was touching people's vagina, allegedly. People's butts. People's leg area.
That's
all types of things.
All right, so next up we have,
Yo,
you want to diminish this black man?
He waits till we go on this elaborate defense.
Right, you should have said that at the beginning.
Like come on, bro.
It's not my fault. I just let y'all go, and then I was like, all right,
All right, so I still say he wasn't wrong. I'm just going with the evidence that was presented to me at first.
What type of person Scott is?
Entrapment.
So yeah, was he wrong? He was absolutely wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
He wasn't
alleged. So I'm not going past judgment. Allegedly.
He wasn't wrong. You don't know how many times
he
the
was
moves
allegedly
work.
wrong.
If that move worked 1 out of every 2 times, you had a 50% chance of making it work. I'll take those odds any day.
Sick.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. Now, next up, last but not least, we ain't have this in a while. We gotta talk heavy court today. Reluctantly, yes, I'm gonna say it in front of the people. Reluctantly, Scott and Keith are gonna give us a court.
Me and Keith, I wasn't reluctant.
You know what? You're right. Scott's the problem. He's clearly the problem. So today, our court is on something that we've never had court on. And we usually try to stick to the serious subjects, but today we're going to go with entertainment. We're going to go with anime. And we're talking about the biggest anime of all time. No, it's not what you think. It's One Piece. I know you guys are thinking.
Those of y'all who've never heard of One Piece, neither have we. So, let's get it.
So Scott says One Piece is the biggest anime of all time. Keith said, no, it ain't. So V, you gonna flip a coin?
Yep.
Scott, since we picking on you, you get the pick.
All right, Scott.
Let's get it.
Tails.
Head.
Okay. Sorry, I got my
them nails is popping.
It's tails.
Oh,
it's tails.
Go ahead, Scott. Tell us what it is.
All right, we got 2 minutes on the clock. Oh, snap! Grab my phone. We got 2 minutes on the clock. You ready? And go.
So, for those of you who don't know what One Piece is, it was a show created by a man by the name of Ode Ichiro. And it was created in 1997, the manga, converted into an anime in 1999. Now, this show is heavily acclaimed for its art style, for its plot line, for its incredible character development from the main character, Luffy, who is a pirate and aspires to be the Pirate King. It has sold $480 million of manga to date, which is the most of all time. The second has sold somewhere between 200 and 350 million. So it is at least $120 million ahead of the next anime, the next manga. The anime has been going on 927 consecutive episodes. 927 consecutive episodes. It has the longest running anime by far. One Piece has its own day in Japan, July 22nd, One Piece Day. They have stamps, figurines, a festival. It's One Piece Day. They have an entire website dedicated to One Piece Day. And if that isn't proof enough of how amazingly massive this anime is, let's talk about its creator, Ode Ichiro. Ode Ichiro is the richest manga writer in the world with a net worth of $200 million. This includes One Piece merch, the selling of One Piece manga, the selling of the anime, advertisement involving One Piece. So I don't know, you don't become the richest writer in the world, manga writer in the world, if your manga isn't the biggest. That's just me.
Scott, you came out swinging. I'm be honest with you.
That was strong.
That was strong.
I gotta flip the page. Too many stats for this little piece.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of numbers involved. Ready, Keith?
Yeah.
All right, and go.
So I appreciate what Scott said. I think you trying to make them feel, you throwing like facts out there that they don't know about, but a lot of animes have a day in Japan. Like Sanjay just passed, which is a Dragon Ball Day. Pokemon has a day. A lot of animes have a day, so that's not really a big deal. Oda Chuta, whatever how you say his name, who was he inspired by? Akira Toriyama, who made Dragon Ball, which is the biggest anime ever. Dragon Ball goes into the games. It's big in the fighting community. It is also big on movies. One Piece has never had a movie to go into theaters, has it? No. One Piece has been going on straight since 1999. Yes, it's going to have a lot of sales and things. Dragon Ball has taken maybe a 30-year break, and it's still the highest, most popular thing in the world. You got people who may never, ever watch anime. Like I have a cousin who say, I don't watch the anime porn. But if I say Kamehameha, she's going to say, oh, that's Goku. That's Dragon Ball Z. Because Dragon Ball for the culture is so big. Even for rappers, you got T Grizzly who put that in his raps. You got so many people who knows what Dragon Ball is that you cannot compare that. I understand you saying in Japan, that is the biggest right now. But we're talking globally. Globally, One Piece cannot touch Dragon Ball. You don't have no like where stats do you have globally that you said like in America? In America, Dragon Ball came and sold 30 million in theaters, in limited theaters at that. When has One Piece ever done that? Never. Who knows who Luffy is? How many people you ever said, I want to go Gear 3? No one. But people say, I want to go Super Saiyan all the time. My son had made me turn off One Piece and said, what is this? Where's Goku? Where's Vegeta? No one looks at One Piece and says, this is cool. It doesn't impact the culture at all, other than Japan. I'm done.
Ooh.
All right.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. While Scott's getting ready, both of y'all came hot. I thought Keith was gonna give us fluff, but he gave us some stuff as well. That's all the break you get.
Scott, you ready? All right, 1, 2, 3, and go.
Just because somebody influenced somebody doesn't mean they can't be bigger than them. I proved already that One Piece has the most sales. One Piece has the richest creator. That One Piece is the longest consecutive show of all time. And I don't know if you know anything about shows, but when they keep getting approved for new episodes, that means something. If you get approved for new episodes for 20 consecutive years, that means something. That means that your show is popping for 20 years. 20 years. And let's get into Dragon Ball Z and how they do all these other things. Movies. The movie was garbage, by the way. The trash movie that they came out with, the games and all of that. And they still not touching One Piece based on the manga and the anime. Still not touching it in numbers. And that don't tell you something, I don't know what will.
Ooh-wee.
On dirt.
Bro. Ready, Keith?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and go.
It's interesting that you said the movie was trash when it sold 30 million in limited theaters, which is very crazy. But you seem like you're saying that One Piece is the richest, which is cool. Just because you're the richest rapper don't mean you're the biggest rapper. The person who influences the culture is the biggest. Dragon Ball has influenced Naruto, One Piece, Hunter x Hunter. Even we can go non-anime and go to Sonic the Hedgehog. It's strictly based off of Dragon Ball. Golden Sonic, you got characters like Silver who is mimicked after future Trunks. You can't say the games are trash because the Tenkaichi and Budokai series is one of the greatest series of games in history. Some of the biggest fighting, you go to Evo and look at the fighting in the world, you see Dragon Ball fighters. I don't see One Piece fighters. People love Dragon Ball because it makes them feel good. People want to be Goku because it makes them feel good. The main character of One Piece was modeled after Goku, and Bull can't end his show. That's why he got something. He's not a good writer.
Ooh-wee.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I had it at a time for a long time. Y'all came today. We need to talk about more anime on this show. Can you agree, V?
I agree. This is the best court these two have done to date. Like, wow. I don't even watch anime. And literally. I feel like I learned so much today. Like,
yes.
So go ahead. You go first.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go ahead and do it because the first round Scott came out punching like Luffy. So but Scott came out punching, right? And he told us about the numbers. I mean, we talking about 480 million. He talked about how further ahead it was than the other ones. He talked about the longest run. Then Keith came back talking about, but the global impact. And he talked about the 30 million in theaters. Hold on, in theaters, limited theaters. He made sure he said that. You know what I'm saying? What did he brought to us? Because Scott got us. I'm not gonna lie, B. He got us when he said they got their own date. Because I even looked it up. It's July 22nd. I said, okay. But then Keith came back and said, Pokemon got their own date. Dragon Ball Z got their own. I didn't know that. So Scott would have had us if you didn't hit us with that. So you all said that. You know what I'm saying? Then he talked about the 30-year break. Then he talked about the influence of hip hop. So that first round, I had a tie, right? Let's flip to the second round. Second round, Scott came through and he reiterated most of what he said, but he hit it with a little bit more. And he did what I love. He threw some dirt. He just had some dirt right on Dragon Ball Z. And I said, he knew what to do to get me on his side. Scott knew what to do to get me on his side. But then Keith, he came through and he said, this is what got Keith the edge. And I'm just letting y'all know. When Keith told us all of the anime that Dragon Ball Z fathered, including One Piece, I didn't know. I said, I never knew. And then he threw Sonic in there, which was one of my favorite games. Shout out to Sega. I said, I never knew none of these things. I felt like I was being educated. So, Scott, I want you to hold your head high and me voting for Keith because that was a great argument back and forth. But Keith, once he hit you with the dagger at the end, because he just gave a little bit more in his second part of the argument. That's all. That's the only reason that he had one more point in that second round. I gotta go with Keith.
Wow, that was a great breakdown of what just occurred. And I just want to add to that, right? So I agree with most of your points. The first round, for me, I felt like Scott came in punching and he was smart because he knew that Scoop and I don't watch anime. So he knew that we were going to be impressed by a lot of the shit he was saying. Because I was like, wow, I'm concerned for Keith. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z with my dad. That's the only anime I know. I didn't even know Pokemon was anime until 2 days ago. So I literally was like, wow, man. Like they got a day, bruh. Like, wow. But then when Keith killed that and he just hit him with the uppercut, I'm like, oh shit. Wow. Well, the only thing Scott had at that point was the numbers. So for me, I had to lean towards Keith for that round. Then we go to second round. Scott came in blazing. reiterated what he had to say, but then was like, Dragon Ball Z could never. Because I'm not going to lie, he was right. They've been on a run for 20 plus years or however long. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. You know, I didn't know that. I didn't know none of this. I just learned about, I didn't know what the fuck. I didn't even know what, first of all, clearly I'm voting for Keith because I don't even remember the name of the shit Scott was just arguing about. I literally just drew a blank. I was just trying to get to it, but I can't even remember the name of it. So all I gotta say is this, right? Keith was impeccable in his arguments, and the last one really killed it, especially with the impact, because similar to our last court, where we had Tiger Woods versus LeBron, I think the reason Tiger Woods got the upper hand was because of the impact we were able to see that he had on the golf industry and all those who were brought up under him. And the fact that Dragon Ball Z created so many other stories and an iconic game, because I played Sonic. I've been that one that says Super Saiyan. You know what I'm saying? I got my little nephew saying it and shit. So for that, gotta go with Keith. But Scott, you did a great job today.
You came through with it, Scott. I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you.
You came through with it. So, Keith.
Yes.
How does it feel to win this anime court? You felt comfortable out there.
Yeah.
Why were you so confident today?
I was facing Scott, and I dusted Scott off in sports, and I knew once he said the One Piece day, it was over for him. Cause I'm like, Scott, I'm just going to tell him everyone else has a day. Sand Day just passed. Sand Day was this month. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why would you even say that? And I'm saying, it's my little cousin though. I love him. Like, give him a kiss on the forehead. But good try, cuz good try.
Now,
I thought that shit was one tree. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Thought it was one tree, one band, one sound. Now, in the future, Keith, I would like to see more arguments like this. Are there any other subject matters that you feel this confident with? Because I haven't seen Keith this confident in a while since him and Venice went at it about football.
Basically just sports, and a lot of times in sports, I just try to be louder than the other person. But in anime, I really study anime. In anime, I really study anime. Like I sit down, like the animes that I know, I really sit down to study. So that's like my really strong point. Other than that I know is all I got is anime.
Okay, I'm getting producers telling me to wrap. So, okay. So Keith, are there any words that you would like to give your fans? Anybody you want to thank before we get out of here?
Thank you, Todd. That's Todd. I see you inside the comments. Thank you, Mom. Khalil, I love you, and we're out.
We're out. Yeah, that wraps up a whole nother episode of Talk Heavy. Once again, I'm your boy Scoop Burgundy.
Just call me Ruff.
It's Scotty.
Super Saiyan.
And don't forget to check out all content under TalkHvy, the real Talk Heavy.